Hey guys, DJ AJ 101 with you here today, and I just wanted to bring you guys a quick little article. Yes, just like the last couple of times, I wanted to bring you guys a quick article and just share my thoughts about it. And this article actually comes from MacRumors.com here today, and it's actually a segment from Google Maps, and Google Maps is apparently just one step closer to becoming a standalone application for the iPhone. Yes, Google is continuing to work on a standalone app for the iPhone of Google Maps, ever since Apple pretty much ousted Google Maps from the version of iOS 6, the latest and greatest OS for the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. And apparently, according to the article right here, I believe a link in the description below so you guys can check it out for yourself. It says that Google is still moving on to creating a standalone application and actually adding turn-by-turn navigation to this application, so an even better version than what was previously available for the iPhone in iOS 5, and now this is going to be a standalone app. And the biggest question is, because it says Eddy Cue is working harder to improve maps, which I really don't think it's going to be up to Google's standard, because as Google had said in the past, it takes many years to improve a maps application and make it up to Google's standard that they've now set and pretty much hold in the industry, as you would know, because they've been in the business for a long time in the mapping business, pretty much, because they make maps, Street View, turn by turn, all on the Android phones now. And as I've said before, there's many things that I like about the Apple Maps, but there is still a few things that really kind of aren't that great, especially if you live, where I live up in Northeast Wisconsin, and, you have a few kind of bigger towns and cities, but you don't have any major cities like Chicago or Los Angeles, etc. And it's really tough to get really good location data for certain restaurants and businesses, as well as turn-by-turn navigation just is not as good. And even I've noticed that the resolution of the maps that they're using, Apple's open source mapping solution, really is not as clear as Google Maps. I mean, you can zoom in and it looks fuzzier than what a Google Map would on the previous version of iOS. So I think Apple still has a lot of work to do, and as it said, Eddy Cue is working hard to improve the map solution here. But, with turn-by-turn navigation and Google Maps as a standalone app coming to the Apple App Store, supposedly, there's been a lot of talk whether Apple would actually allow Google Maps to be a standalone download. Of course, they have a slew of Google apps that are already in Apple's app market, and they do allow you to download, like the Google search application, the Google Drive application, etc. So there's a ton of Google applications that are out there and available. Are they going to say, you know what, Google is competing head-to-head with us on this one. We really don't want Google Maps on here because we're trying to improve our own mapping solution. And if people go out there and actually download Google Maps from the App Store, it won't give us as much app data, and we won't be able to improve our maps as much. I think it would be very selfish of Apple to do that, especially when they're already offering a bunch of other applications for maps right in a designated spot on their App Store. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's right in the front page. Maps for iPhone is what it's called. So Apple kind of already has put into the paperwork saying, our maps aren't as good, but we're working on it. And it would be very nice to actually say, we'll let people download it that miss Google Maps while we make a better mapping solution, because Google has the edge right now. And you don't let that be a lesson for Apple. They shouldn't release a half-baked product. Maps should have lived up to the hype, and it shouldn't have just been rushed out the door, especially with the previous remarks, knowing that Apple had 1 year left with Google on the contract for Maps on iOS. It really didn't make that much sense at the time. Still doesn't. But I just wanted to let you guys know about this, and leave a link in the description, like I said before. But also ask you guys what you think. Do you think Apple's going to be really, that low and that selfish to say, no, we're going to deny that application because we're currently working on an application that's going to be better, even though it's not that great right now, and even though we have a designated spot in our app market that says you can find maps because they're not as good? A lot of mumbo jumbo there, but do you really think Apple's really going to be that low and not give customers like myself or you an alternative to their maps, which might not be as good in the areas where they live or how they would use the maps solution? So please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong. Please leave your comments. Love to hear from you guys, as well as rate this video up if you happen to like this video, subscribe if you like my channel and content. But anyways, guys, that's going to about do it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great one till then.